Mixed martial arts is not about good versus evil. You can find that at your local Cineplex, where the hero will remind you that the state must be protected at all costs. But in mixed martial arts, the state and the corporation hosts the battle between two of its employees. Oftentimes, in the eyes of the company, there is a good guy and a bad guy. Often, these two combatants land on the same side of the moral line. And for us regular fans, it's hard to truly hate or wish upon the downfall of any specific fighter, unless your name is MMA Joey.
Oh! Yes! Yes! Oh!
Jack Della Maddalena is a crafty, smart, and endlessly tough boxer, carrying the nation of Australia on his back, as he looks to be the second Aussie to capture UFC gold in just over 30 days. And, to the residents of the land down under, he might be the hero. But to the rest of the world, to those of us who live under the watchful eye of the surveillance state, Belal, remember the name Muhammad, is our champion. Now I know what you're thinking. What? Belal Muhammad? The lay and pray wrestler that couldn't finish a one-armed Gilbert Burns? We can talk about his accolades, how he turned Sean Brady's donut into a churro, just one of the many highlights in his illustrious career. But I mostly want to talk about Belal's title-winning performance at UFC 304, when he dumped Leon Scott on his bald spot in front of Leon's home crowd at the Manchester Square Garden Arena. We could talk about him being the only fighter in UFC history to win a rematch with Vicente Luque and a rematch against Leon. But what I'm really here to explain is his story and his role in the humanist revolution. Born in Chicago to Palestinian parents, Belal began his MMA career at the age of 23, joining the UFC in 2016, where he debuted with a decision loss against Alan the Man Jouban. He also, on his way up, picked up a victory over the action man Chris Curtis at Hoosier Fight Club on his way up. Real heads know the Bully B lore. The Bully had a spotty start to his UFC career, going 5-3 in his first 8, before starting the 11-fight unbeaten streak that would rise him to the top of the welterweight division and see him capture UFC gold. And for the majority of his MMA career, Muhammad has been fighting a three-pronged battle against his opponent, against the fans, and against the corporate entity itself known as the UFC. Either due to a surname bias, a perceived boring fight style, or something else entirely, the fan base rejected Muhammad from the beginning, and the UFC, for its part, was happy to oblige and cater to this dislike. They gave him violent contenders and seasoned vets, a rogues gallery of killers with incredible talent but with no name value, a 2017 version of Randy Brown, Vicente Luque, Tim Means, my God, Chance Rencontre. Are you kidding me? Bully B is the man who retired the legend Damian Maia, who retired Augusto Montaño, who retired Lyman Good. And they make him fight Chance Rencontre. They make him fight 8-fight unbeaten streak Leon Edwards. They made him fight undefeated Sean Brady. 5 fights in the UFC, coming off a win against old man Michael Chiesa. The point is, the UFC was hoping that he would lose, and the fans were right along with them. Even to this day, as Belal prepares for the first defense of his welterweight title at UFC 315, fans are speculating about who, among the crop of new welterweight contenders, be it Ian Gary, Shavkat Rakhmonov, Joaquin Buckley, and many more, including Australia's own JDM. But they are speculating about who will save us from the Muhammad era. But I don't think that we need saving. In fact, I think Belal is the savior that we need. Belal marked his claim to a title shot when he handed Sean Brady the sole loss of his career via second-round TKO at UFC 280. But he was then forced into another number one contenders fight against fellow vet Gilbert Burns at UFC 288 in May of 2023, with Belal winning by unanimous decision and further cementing his status as the number one contender. Only for the UFC to give Colby the shot at UFC 296 in December 2023. And when the bill came due, when Belal had truly become undeniable, Leon Edwards was forced to face the music, and Bully B took his belt by force. But UFC president and CEO of TKO Holdings, Ari Emanuel, brother of the former mayor of the city that would then go on to give Belal Muhammad his own day, his own holiday, Ari Emanuel couldn't face the music. In fact, he left the building before the belt was even wrapped around Belal's waist. When you piss off the old fucks at the top of the mountain, I can't help but think you're on the right track. When the oligarchs and the technocrats start hating you just for doing your job, that sounds to me like something that we should all get behind. They want Belal to be a flash in the pan, to be forgotten among the annals of MMA history. But Belal is not the type to go down without a fight. The country that the UFC calls home has aided, abetted, funded, and facilitated the mass slaughter of Belal's people. And they intend to continue doing so and to finish the job regardless of the voice of the free people of this nation and of many nations around the world. Every name that Belal adds to his resume is not just another feather in his cap, not just a testament to his greatness, but also to the resilience and the determination of his people, to the power that comes with unity and the strength of the masses when they stand together, when we stand together. Their voices will not be silenced. Our voices will not be silenced. When human beings stand together, regardless of class or creed or loyalty, no oppressive regime, no evil empire can rule us. For the free-thinking, democratically minded people of the world, Belal Muhammad is our champion. This is the great conflict of our time. This is the fight that the disenfranchised and the hopeless have been looking for. Fight not with hate in your heart, but with hope for tomorrow and prosperity for the generations to come. Fight to protect what you have and preserve what is being destroyed. By the end of his era, you will remember the name. And by the end of our time on this planet, I can only hope that we can all follow in the footsteps of Belal Muhammad by never allowing yourself to be silenced, never allowing yourself to be denied what you truly deserve, and never surrendering to powers that want to be seen as greater than yours. And they are not greater than yours. Evil prevails when good men do nothing. I'm sure you've all heard that, whether it's in some stupid superhero movie or on some letter or something. Evil prevails when good men do nothing. But I propose an addendum inspired by Belal, remember the name Muhammad. Evil prevails when good men do nothing. But when one good man chooses to stand, when he is undeniable, he can change the world. That's it for the video. I've had a lot of thoughts about Belal Muhammad. He's got to be probably my number 2 or number 1, top 5 favorite fighter right now, without a doubt. He's going to keep the belt in Chicago. He's going to defend his title. He's going to put a statement on the fact that he is the king of this division. And he is going to put a statement on the fact that violence around the world, horrible acts of oppression, will not be tolerated. We, as the human race, cannot tolerate that any longer. And Belal Muhammad is the man that we need to get behind to save our future. Alright, now that's truly it for the video. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully, I had to make this video because it was just something that was too strong, too bursting out of my chest to say. And hopefully, I'll have a lot more strong feelings like that. So like, subscribe, leave a comment. I want to chat. I want to know what you think about this. So please leave a comment. That's what I want more than a like or a subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.